this week's edition of LBTV News for the week of May 1st. I'm Shania Villalba.
And I'm Pablo Martinez. The year is coming to an end, and everybody's showing off their projects.
The Humanities Showcase was held last Thursday of April 25th, featuring history, English, communication, and theater students.
I was there to cover the event. Last Thursday, April 25th, the Lindenwood University Humanities Department celebrated its own party. Students and faculty joined forces to showcase their most excellent pieces of work in a day full of different but wonderful events.
I have a lot of communication classes, but today I came here because I'm in the mass communication law class, which is a senior level class that talks about legal issues and related to communication. And I was invited to talk on the radios of some of these controversial topics, and then to tell people about these legal issues that are important to all of us, I guess.
I'm an English major. I've always been involved in the Humanities Showcase the past 3 years that it has happened. And this year I was involved for several reasons. One of them was with my creative writing class, where I read a couple poems. And then at the closing ceremony, Professor Edgren recognized the Easton and the Sibley Award winners, and I read a poem. But the big event I was a part of, and the event I helped organize and I led and I hosted, was the International Student Hour.
In the Humanities Showcase, I had to present a web page, and also I had to do a duet with Cynthia, and we sing in a Spanish song, which is called Solo Si Es Contigo.
At the end of the day, 2 of our fellow students were awarded for their outstanding projects and creations. Bessie was one of them, so I asked her about her college career.
During my time as a Lindenwood student, I have several projects that I think have earned this recognition. My first year, I actually translated some legends and folklore tales from Latin America, from Honduras specifically, from Spanish to English. So I presented that at the first Humanities Showcase in 2016. It was really exciting. My second year, I read a couple of poems that I wrote for my Intro to Creative Writing class, and they were about Honduras, and they were about political turmoil and civil unrest and the immigrant experience. And that poem was accepted for publication in the University of Miami Journal. And then from there, it really just took off. I had another poem that I wrote for another English class accepted for Syracuse University's literary journal, and just several creative works that were becoming published in journals all across the country.
All of the assistants agreed that it was a day to remember.
I think it's such a wonderful day of many interesting projects, and I loved seeing them all.
I was impressed by all of the organization and all of the amount of working projects that we had there. I thought they were pretty good overall, and it was a great experience.
I thought the showcase was so amazing and so beautiful. Obviously, I'm biased, and I think the International Student Hour was the best thing ever. It was amazing when I had Gio Rodriguez and Mati sing Cara Luna, and we had all those Latinx students. They were singing and they were clapping along with the song, and I just felt so in community. And I think that Humanities Showcase is about that, right? The humanities as our several careers, communication, English, history, theater, they're about that. They're about connection, they're about community, they're about celebrating that which makes us human. And in that moment, it was our shared experience as people from Latin American descent, and I thought that was beautiful. It was amazing.
Reporting for LBTV News, this is Pablo Martinez.
The first event of the Humanities Showcase was the radio discussion concerning mass communication laws.
Drew River interviewed the participants.
Professor Davis teaches communications here at Lindenwood Belleville. So during the Humanities Showcase, she had her students from her mass communications law class come onto the Link radio station to talk about how law relates to communications.
I think it's one of the more important issues that students are facing today. These are real world issues that they're facing. We talk in our class about things like stop and frisk and search and seizure, Fourth Amendment rights, First Amendment rights to freedom of speech. It's a comm class. We talk a lot about journalism. So if any of them want to go into any of the comm fields, they need to know that there's some protections there for them. They have to be right and they have to be accurate. And when they're not, there's some laws in place that sanction that, and so I want them to be really clear about that.
I caught up with Professor Davis's students to ask them how they felt about the broadcast.
I was very hesitant to do it at first. When Professor Davis first asked me, I was kind of like, I don't really want to. but I've actually gone on the radio 3 times this semester, and I mean, it's kind of fun. It's a little bit out of my comfort zone, so I don't know, I guess it's good.
Given I've taken radio classes, it was a fun experience, nothing extremely new. It was more just difficult remembering specifics, because in our class we're very keen on noting the details, because she wants us to really know the material because it pertains to us, which is good because, you know, we live in the digital age, and so we have to know the laws that apply to the ever-changing digital technology that we have access to.
Reporting for LBTV News, this is Drew Rydberg.
Later in the showcase, we had space for theater as well.
To start off, they had the students perform a one-act play, and improv students did a short improv performance.
Shayla Mathis was there to cover the theatrical part of the showcase.
During the Humanities Showcase, several members of the improvisation or improv class displayed their skills to the school. I asked both the students and their professor on both what improv is in their own words and what the class does together.
Before this semester, I had an idea of what improv was, but I actually didn't know what it was. I thought it was only listening and performing, basically, but actually you need to pay attention of like all the things that are going on, because if you miss one single thing, it could mess up everything.
So improv is basically a form of acting where you everything is on the spot. You have a preset rules, or there's no rules at all, and you create scenes basically up out of thin air, and you create full characters and go with the flow with your other actors and create great scenes.
This semester in the class we split it up into 2 halves. The first half we did short form, which is basically just different games that utilize some of the fundamentals of listening to each other and accepting what other people are bringing into the scene, using your imagination, and all of those things just to create fun short games. The second half of the semester we explored some long form improv, which is still creating scenes and dialogue, but there are different scenes that are all tied together, usually through one theme. So instead of starting and stopping in between each game or in scene, it's a longer format, hence the long form.
Luckily, the showcase was only a preview of the full 2-act improv show coming up soon. I asked for a sneak peek on what that would entail.
Our show is going to have 2 parts. The first part of the show is our short form, which is actually what you saw today, which are little games where you either have secret identities and you have to guess, or there are little intricate parts where a scene can go forward, go backwards, or it can flip right at the drop of a dime. And then the second half is long form, where there's a set rules, where there's a common theme throughout for all, like maybe say 5 or 6 scenes throughout 20 minutes, and you keep those scenes going, and you just keep building your characters and create a story.
I'm Shayla Mathis, reporting for LBTV News.
Apart from the showcase, there are still many other events going on here on campus.
Sometimes the weather does not cooperate with outdoor events, so I covered walking tacos inside the Lynx Den. Here at Lindenwood Belleville, Mother Nature can be a little unpredictable. Student life puts on many events here on campus, but sometimes the weather can really be a big factor when it comes to outdoor events. Because we had some showers in Belleville, Campus Activity Board had to make some changes for their original event.
So the original event was we were going to do an outdoor movie in the sunken garden with ice cream sundaes, but obviously the weather ruined that plan, so instead we're doing walking tacos in the Lynx Den.
It was unfortunate that it had to get canceled because of the weather, but CAB seems to always kind of come through and have something else planned, which is cool.
I wanted to ask students how the event turned out and how Lindenwood seems to always make things work out.
It's great to have events in the Lynx Den just because it gets people more involved with all the events that we have going on here. So whenever we have different events, it gets people in here, they start playing games, and it gets people interactive with what we have to provide for the school.
I did get a walking taco, and I got the chips, and I got the beef, and the cheese, and the salsa. It was very good.
Reporting for LBTV News, this is Shania Villalba.
That is all from us in this week's edition of LBTV News.
Our final show will be live at 12 p.m. on May 8th. I'm Shania Villalba.
And I'm Pablo Martinez. Don't miss next week's show.